What is going on, y'all? This is Brandon, aka the Port City Attorney. I am TikTok and YouTube's Saul Goodman. I appreciate you stopping by. I'm here today with Attorney Reacts. We're going to be breaking down a traffic stop from a popular YouTube channel known as Police Activity. Now, before we analyze this stop and break it down, go ahead and do me a favor. Subscribe to Attorney Reacts and go ahead and follow, like, subscribe to all my socials at Port City Attorney. Without further ado, let's get after it.
Go ahead, step out for me, man. Step out for me.
Can I reach for my seatbelt?
Step out for me.
Real quick, important point, okay? So a lot of times we'll see videos online where the police ask somebody to get out of the car and they say that, you know, that they don't have to and all this stuff. There is a Supreme Court case called Pennsylvania v. Mims that specifically and explicitly states that if an officer orders you out of a vehicle, they are, you know, fearful of their safety or whatever. They don't have to give a reason, but if an officer gives you an order to get out of the vehicle, you must get out of the vehicle. If you don't, you could run the risk of getting charged with some sort of resisting a public officer, resist, delay, obstruct, or some sort of other obstruction of justice charge.
Back here to my car. What are you doing?
I'm not finna pull up.
Step right here. You're on the main highway, man. All right, you turned off on me earlier on Chapel's Highway, okay? I know that was you.
What?
Okay, you passed me going 78 miles an hour.
I don't think that was me, sir.
That was you, okay? You're kind of pissing me off right now because you know what you're doing. You're a grown man. You're on the main highway coming in Saluda County from Newberry.
I'm not from Newberry. I'm coming from Clinton.
You're almost about to go to jail, okay?
How? I called a lady on the phone.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. We've been riding for 10 minutes now.
Sir, my mama told me not to pull over. When
No, you turned off on me. You were going almost 80 miles an hour down the road in a silver Dodge Charger. That was you.
Okay.
You saw me turn around on you, then you dipped off on me.
No, I turned like I was supposed to.
Turn where?
On the road.
So you were going 78 miles an hour.
Over here.
No.
Yeah, you were. Go ahead and turn around for me. Turn around for me. Put your hands behind your back.
So at this point, there's not a whole lot wrong with the stop, although I don't like the cop's kind of attitude, you know. Understandably, you know, his adrenaline might be running, tensions might be high. The police have articulated that they believe that they have reasonable suspicion that driver committed some sort of a crime. Speeding, if it's above a certain amount, if it was more than 20 in some states, then it can be considered a crime, and so they can make an arrest on that.
So if you don't know where you are, or you're on a back road and you turn off on me on the road, that doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't believe anything you're telling me right now, so you're going to jail. Okay?
I'm going to jail
Yep.
for what?
You're going to jail for speeding. And for failure to stop for blue lights at this point. Have a seat.
Can I call my mom?
No, you can't call anybody until you get to the jail. Have a seat.
This comes up a lot with juveniles, usually. I don't think he's a juvenile, but a lot of times they will ask to call their parents. You really don't have a right to call anybody except an attorney.
Yeah, he dipped off on me on Chapel's Highway. I mean, there wasn't no other silver Dodge Charger.
Yeah.
And he was going 80.
I was just gonna see if y'all wanted to, and then we'll just get out of the road and just open the road back up.
I'm not supposed to drive his car.
Yeah, we're fine.
That is correct. I didn't like that he went in there and grabbed his ID. He didn't, in my opinion, have a probable cause to enter the vehicle. He'd already detained him. Typically, whenever you detain or arrest somebody and you're going to tow their car, you can do essentially an inventory search to make sure that everything is in there so that there's no complaints after the person receives their property back, meaning their car. But he's right, not supposed to drive the car.
Yeah, he thinks it matters if he calls. It doesn't matter.
We said on the back road, he was on the South Carolina highway.
Oh, he threw something out somewhere.
Oh, it's in here.
So now you'll notice that the cop is saying he threw something out somewhere. Unless I missed it in the beginning, that didn't come up yet. So they're trying to articulate some sort of reasonable suspicion or probable cause to be able to search the vehicle.
That's all that's in there.
Again, I don't like that they're opening up bags and doing all this stuff. Now, they might be able to, or they obviously think they're able to, but there's a good argument to exclude some of this because they barely stated, from what I can recall, that they thought he threw something out. They stated that at the beginning that they stopped him because he was speeding, not because he was under suspicion of trying to hide some sort of contraband or controlled substance. But I've been wrong before. They're just not afraid to look through just about everything.
Well, he did dip off on me, and I shot back up Chapels, but
You might notice that the reason that they are giving, the reasonable suspicion that they're trying to articulate, is he had to have thrown something out. From what I can tell, he's saying that he dipped off on him and he just caught up to him. When would you have had the opportunity to observe him throwing something out? If it was pretty close to the proximity of the stop, walk your ass back there and see if you find something on the road. They're opening up bags and all of his belongings of stuff that he wouldn't have had ready access to, trying to look for something that isn't there because they're saying that he threw it out. What is that? Is it bird poop? This officer just grabbed a testing kit, a substance testing kit. So what they do is they swab these things, they put it in there, and if it turns a certain color, it'll indicate what kind of drug or substance it could be. It does look weird. There's a lot of white stuff on there, but it obviously looks like bird poop, but could be wrong. I don't know. We'll find out.
we gotta test it and see.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what it is.
What if he did that, try to throw it in front, to avoid you from seeing it?
Now that doesn't make any sense. If he would try to throw it in the front to avoid him seeing it, he's going 78 miles an hour from what they said. Tell me, can you throw a plastic bag faster than 78 miles an hour? Because that's what he would have had to have done to be able to get it in front of the vehicle.
Almost like a bunch of bird feet.
Is it turning pink?
Yeah. You're kidding me.
I will say, I don't know what that is. They are claiming that it is reacting to their test kit and showing that it's cocaine. Bird poop, cocaine? I don't know.
What's the white stuff on the front of your hood, man?
Birds.
Bird.
Yeah.
Bird. That's what I'd say too. First off, I wouldn't answer questions. This brings up a good point. So this is a learning point for everyone. I want you to ensure that if you're ever in the back of a cop car with your hands cuffed behind your back, let's not answer questions. My man said it was bird. I mean, that's a good one, but I would say just err on the side of caution and ask for an attorney, because if they start asking you questions, it's likely that they already have an idea of what the answer is or should be. And so they're going to lead you down a path, brings you to confessing in some sort of way. They're good at their jobs. They know what they're doing.
That ain't bird.
I promise you that's bird doo doo.
I promise you it's not, though.
I swear to God that's bird doo doo.
Well, I swear to God it's not, because I just tested it.
I swear to
That's a lot of
God.
bird. That's a lot of birds, man.
I tried to clean it last night at the gas station. You can
I can still wipe it off.
See, this is where he's starting to get himself down a hole you don't want to go. That's why you shouldn't answer questions. He's saying he tried to clean it last night. The officer saying that it was not dry, that it was still. The best thing to do is just not answer questions at this point. Say, I want to talk to an attorney.
Unless the bird inhaled cocaine, then
Now, that's a good argument. I would argue that it is, in fact, bird poop, and you can't rule out the fact that maybe that bird got into some cocaine. Not a great argument, but this reminds me a lot of the scene in The Other Guys when the Prius runs through the cocaine. That's kind of what it looked like. He would have had to hit a couple kilos of cocaine for it to make that big of an impact. I might even show that video to the judge and be like, hey, look, there's no way you could get this much cocaine on the front of the vehicle unless you did something like what they did in The Other Guys.
okay. This Dodge Charger, it dipped off on me on Chapels Highway when I was coming down somewhere, but then I came back and I saw the same vehicle go by me again. So I got back around it. But he has got white stuff all over the front of his vehicle.
Two of the most commonly used terms by police are white powdery substance and red bloodshot glossy eyes. Just always remember that.
I had a hunch, so I got me one of the field test kits and I wiped it, and it's come, and my little cocaine field test kit is turning pink. Yeah, it's weird.
I wish they would show it in a clearer light. I'd like to see how pink it is, what kind of hue it was. An argument would be that, it was cross-contaminated or something like that.
But I don't believe anything he's telling me. Yeah, I mean, he's saying it's bird poop. I mean, if it was a bird, this thing was a damn, like Brandon just says.
More like a pterodactyl.
I don't know. I think he must have threw it out at the front.
What?
I'm not sure how to wipe this stuff up and kind
Bro, what are you talking about,
of contain
man?
it into evidence.
I mean, at this point, the cops probably shouldn't try wiping it up because there's going to be issues with contamination, cross-contamination, all that stuff. They should probably get whatever crime scene investigators or crime scene technicians out there to determine how to preserve that. Because if that's a felony possession of cocaine, that's going to, be important evidence for the state. And so they'll probably want to remove the entire hood, put it into some sort of a controlled environment like a van, because you don't want to put it on the back of a tow truck because it's going to fly off and they might lose all their evidence. As a defense attorney, I would love for them to do that. Hey, look, sometimes you got to analyze it from both ends.
Yeah, they probably had like a damn drug deal or something. This might not even do right.
I don't know. I'm still not convinced that that's cocaine. I don't know what it is, but that would be a massive amount of cocaine for him to be able to actually get it, have the weight to get it in front of the vehicle and for it to explode like that. I mean, they're claiming that he was going 78 miles an hour. It looks suspicious to me. If you're a police officer and you're in a situation like this, you probably should just go ahead and call crime scene technicians, because this could be a big make or break piece of evidence if you're trying to charge somebody with some sort of felony possession of cocaine.
If anything, it'll be like a 1 in 1,000 case for these things to be faulty, but I don't think they just turn pink. I know.
There is the issue, and why I keep harping on if you're a cop preserving this, and why I keep harping on if you're the defense, because, as he just stated, these things do have some sort of an error rate, and so they can turn a color if they're reacting to a certain kind of substance. Every case has the potential to be a flagship case and to make new case law. So it could be you. You could have reasonable doubt. So always keep your mouth shut whenever it comes to talking to the cops.
I think they make it like, bird poop does not test positive for cocaine.
If the bird ingested cocaine, it would.
We have to do a test. We have to get like 1,000 birds and make them all take a shit.
I like that idea. Given the fact that the officers had actually indicated that might be a way to determine it, Hail Mary, throw it up.
We're gonna be on the next legal update.
What did I just say? Every case has the potential to make new case law, and they just indicated that too. This is a blind react. I haven't seen this before, so it's funny that we're all thinking the same thing, because that shows me that they might have just a little bit of doubt that that's actually cocaine. The Punisher skull background's a classic background, especially for law enforcement.
Yeah, it's like, I think he said he tried to wipe it up last night, but I think they might have had something going on last night or wherever he's from and deal gone wrong, or hell, he might not even know about it.
I don't know what to say about this. So at first they said he had to have thrown something out. He threw it in front of him. That's what happened. They all had this grand realization that that's probably what happened. But now he's saying that, he told the cops that he tried to wipe it up. Now they're saying that maybe it was a drug deal gone wrong and something happened. Would say that a reasonable person would drive around with this on his car all day long if it was actually cocaine. You might be the dumbest person in the world if you dropped a kilo of cocaine on the hood of your car and you decided just to drive around with it. Now listen, I like washing my car. I like keeping it clean. So me personally, even if it was bird, I wouldn't be rolling around with it on my car. The story doesn't really add up to me.
Yeah, I'd have been done, washed it off. And you don't just randomly ride behind a coke dealer coming down the road. So
you could randomly ride behind a coke dealer in the road. Never know. Again, the cops are sitting here creating reasonable doubt for the defendant.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to wipe it up, and I guess I could take it back and weigh it, I mean, it's as much as I can, but...
So now they're trying to establish probable cause to charge him with some sort of an elevated felony. They could charge him with trafficking.
All right, man. I don't know what you got going on in your life or whatever, but... That's a field test kit. It's distributed to us. If it turns pink or blue, that means it's positive for cocaine. It don't just turn positive out of nowhere. That's not bird shit, okay?
I swear to God.
It looks nothing like bird poop, man. We know what bird poop looks like.
I don't know what's about to come out of his mouth. But, again, don't answer questions. Don't offer anything up. Don't over-explain. Just shut your mouth and ask for an attorney, because if you're already in handcuffs, they're not just going to let you out of those handcuffs. I know from experience, dude.
I pulled over last night to clean it off my car, and it didn't come off with the little thing that the...
That's a lot of bird poop, man.
It just spread it. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot.
No,
of
it's
birds.
like in spots, like all over the front of
You
your
can still see it in the driver's side little thing down by the hood. That's bird doo-doo.
It's all the way across your car. That's a big spread for bird poop.
You know, the thing that you clean the windshield with that got water in it, that's what I tried to rub it off with that, and that's why I sprayed it and it still didn't come off. So I just left it. It happened last night.
It's not a great story, but it's a story.
Get him, read his Miranda rights when I talk to him any further.
This brings up another good point. A lot of people assume that once you get arrested, they have to read you your Miranda rights, right? So they don't necessarily, and it doesn't invalidate the arrest. Your Miranda rights only have to be read to you if you are involved in some sort of a custodial interrogation. It's a two-pronged test, custodial and interrogation. Obviously, this guy here is in the custody of the police. He is not free to leave. And so he is, handcuffed in the back of a cop car. So that satisfies the first prong. The second prong, they're asking him whether or not, what the substance is. They're trying to figure out what it is. So my argument would be that this qualifies as a custodial interrogation. However, they have what they are articulating as independent probable cause to make the stop and the arrest. So anything that he says may not be admissible in court, but it also might not matter because they believe that they have some sort of independent, articulable suspicion or probable cause that a crime has been committed, that he is in possession of cocaine.
They still say it's bird poop. Dave's on the way. I'm gonna read him his rights. I'm gonna tell him if he doesn't come clean, and I'm gonna scrape all that up and I'm gonna take it back to the office and weigh it. I mean, it might be like 10% cocaine, the rest of it baby powder.
So this brings up a good explanation point. Now, depending on the state, obviously state by state differs, but it might only be 10% cocaine, pure cocaine, when it comes to overdose deaths, where they add fentanyl into a certain substance in order to be able to dilute it and have it still be potent enough for someone to experience some sort of intoxication. But however, in a lot of states, in a lot of jurisdictions, whatever the substance is it's mixed up with is, it counts towards the overall general weight.
It could be telling the truth. It could be somebody else's cocaine, but it's on his car. He said he tried to.
It could be somebody else's cocaine. And one question you might be asking yourself throughout the duration of this video is, it wasn't found on him, right? It was found on the hood of his car. Now, there is such thing as constructive possession, which means that you basically constructively possessed it or you had access to it. And in this case, it was found on a vehicle that he had complete control over, sole control over. There was nobody else.
Do you understand your rights? Okay. You wish to speak with me any further? No?
The first smart thing he has done throughout this interaction. Thank you for doing that. You should have done that a long time ago. But anytime the police read you your rights and then they ask you questions, don't answer. Ask for the services of an attorney. So it might not be enough just to say, I don't want to answer questions. You have to say, I want to speak with an attorney. Those are the magic words that will stop any sort of custodial interrogation.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do right now. Is I'm going to gather up all that stuff on the front as much as I can. It tested positive for cocaine. I mean, I don't know.
I have no reason to lie about cocaine. Like, I play football, so I don't do cocaine. I don't do.
Well, I'm not sure how.
I don't know.
It really doesn't make any sense as to why that's coming back positive for cocaine. So
exactly. I don't like. I just told you this bird poop in front of.
Okay, so obviously we're not going to know what happens in this case unless we had some sort of access to the legal proceedings that happen afterwards. However, there's some important points. One, if there is any chance that the police are trying to build a case against you, or they're trying to say that you have broke the law in any way, your best bet is just not to talk. If you have a large amount of bird poop on your car, go ahead and wash it off, because on the off chance that bird has a serious issue and addiction to cocaine, you don't want the cops scraping that just off your car and charging you with some sort of felony possession of cocaine. And lastly, this is an important point. You need to make sure that you know those special words. I want to talk to a lawyer. Okay, that will stop any sort of custodial interrogation, and that will keep you a little bit safer from prosecution if you ever find yourself in this position. Thank you for watching, y'all. I appreciate you stopping by again. Go like, subscribe, follow to Attorney Reacts. Hit my socials up, Port City Attorney. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, you name it. Thanks, y'all. See you next time.
Big verdict.